Anyway, and I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead.
Elon Musk is reeling from a shocking family crisis. His son, Xavier, has transformed into Vivian Jenna Wilson, cutting all ties. Elon blames this heart-wrenching change on what he calls a woke mind virus.
So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
Claiming it's tearing his family apart. What does this shocking family drama reveal about broader cultural tensions? Let's discover what kind of dad Elon truly is, once and for all. Elon's child, who was originally known as Xavier Musk, changed her name to Vivian Jenna Wilson at 20 years old and decided to cut ties with Elon after her transition. Elon has responded by saying that the person he once knew as his son is dead, blaming recent social changes for this loss. Even though Elon is constantly in the news for his business ventures and his outspoken opinions, he has also been vocal in criticizing these cultural movements, which he believes have cost him his relationship with his child. The world holds its breath as Vivian holds a letter that might either mend or forever sever her bond with Elon. Elon Musk, often in the headlines for his companies and personal views, has a large family with 12 children. Among them, Vivian Jenna Wilson stands out because of her decision to transition and distance herself from her father. Elon said he was misled into signing papers about Xavier's transition, now Vivian's. In return, Vivian has defended her decision and described her father as uncaring and attention-seeking. This situation has led many to wonder about the dynamics within the Musk family and what their past interactions might have been like. Vivian, for her part, has reassured the public that she is handling the situation well and is planning a thoughtful response. But this isn't the worst part. There are different stories within such a high-profile family about what growing up in the Musk household was like and what the relationships were truly about. Elon Musk, who already faced the tragedy of losing his first child with Justine Wilson in 2002 to sudden infant death syndrome, has dealt with many challenges in his personal life.
And so I lost my son, essentially.
Even after such a heartbreaking loss, he and Justine continued to try to grow their family, having twins through in vitro fertilization in 2004, with Xavier being one of those twins. Elon Musk has 12 children, including Griffin Musk and his twin Vivian Jenna Wilson, who was originally named Xavier Musk. Reports suggest that Elon's relationship with his first 5 children, whom he had with his first wife, Justine Musk, has been difficult. Elon and Justine met at Queen's University in Ontario and got married in the year 2000. After having Griffin and Vivian, they welcomed triplets named Kai, Saxon, and Damien in 2006. However, by 2008, they decided to end their marriage, leading to a rather difficult and contentious divorce. Justine has openly spoken about her issues with Elon, calling him distant in their relationship. In a 2010 article for Marie Claire, she said that Elon treated her more like a temporary partner than a lifelong one. Justine shared that Elon was the one who pursued their relationship, but they lost contact for a while when she moved to Japan to teach English. They later reconnected in the United States and got married. As Elon became more successful and wealthy, Justine noticed changes in his behavior, including making uncomfortable jokes about leaving her for a supermodel. Despite these tensions, they remained married for a few more years until their divorce in 2008. New changes shake the family, revealing deep personal struggles. Their child Xavier's decision to change their name to Vivian Wilson was a big moment, showing how Vivian felt about Elon's treatment of Justine during their marriage. The divorce was full of conflict, with both sides throwing accusations. Elon's lawyers hinted that Justine was asking for more money than was fair. In the end, she received much less than she wanted, partly because Elon had requested joint custody. Elon has said that when he is not working, he spends his time with his children, calling them the joy of his life.
What's this game?
Did you just take that from your brother?
Yeah, but I want to see what game it is.
Damn it. This is what I'm talking about. Somebody took somebody's toy.
He has always made sure to visit them regularly and take care of most of their living expenses across his various homes. Tallulah Riley, Elon's second wife, also mentioned that Elon has always been dedicated to his children. She said he always made time for them. This pattern of being involved in his children's lives and supporting them financially has continued for many years. Elon Musk often made a point to come home early from work to spend time with his children. During these visits, he and his sons would play video games and enjoy each other's company. Even Amber Heard, who dated Musk for a short time in 2017, shared photos on Instagram showing her interacting with Musk's children. For years, it seemed like Musk had a strong, if not perfect, bond with his kids. But according to his daughter Vivian, her experience was different. She noticed that Musk's visits became less frequent and more strained as time went on. She felt that her father didn't approve of her becoming more feminine, and it made him upset. Because of this, Vivian often chose to avoid her father during her childhood. By the year 2022, they hadn't seen each other for several years. In 2022, Vivian publicly announced her transition and decided to drop the name Musk, choosing to use her mother's last name instead. Around the same time, Musk made some controversial comments about the transgender community, criticizing the use of different pronouns, which he spoke about in a negative way. Before Vivian's announcement, Musk had made some critical remarks in an interview with Jordan Peterson, effectively distancing himself from her when she chose the name Vivian. It's unclear exactly when their relationship started to fall apart, but Vivian has said they were never as close as some people believe. On the other hand, people close to Musk insisted that he and his daughter once shared a deep bond. So there are two very different stories about their relationship. By choosing her mother's last name, Vivian seems to be signaling a major change in how she feels about her father, suggesting a version of events quite different from Musk. This has left many people guessing about what really happened between them. In 2020, Elon Musk's behavior towards the transgender community took a surprising turn.
The so-called gender-affirming care, which is a terrible euphemism.
While he had previously presented himself as a supporter, even claiming that Tesla employed the most LGBTQ people in the country, many began to doubt his sincerity. Despite these claims, Musk came under fire for sharing memes on Twitter that many found offensive to the LGBTQ community, casting doubt on his earlier statements. The controversy grew when Musk showed his support for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is known for backing the Don't Say Gay bill. This bill aims to stop discussions about LGBTQ+ identities in schools, and it has faced significant criticism for trying to remove these topics from education. Musk also publicly questioned society's views on gender, raising doubts about irreversible surgeries while at the same time questioning why people deny that gender differences exist. He suggested that the world would be a better place if people were less judgmental, a viewpoint he hoped he and his transgender daughter could share. As controversies emerge, Musk's words add fuel to the fire. Musk's seemingly contradictory statements and casual online comments about transgender issues haven't gone unnoticed. Many within the LGBTQ community have found his actions harmful. Despite being in the public eye, Musk has generally kept his children, especially his older ones, out of the spotlight. Of his 12 children, only his son with Canadian musician Grimes, famously named XAE12, has been in the public eye regularly. The unusual name caused quite a stir.
I mean, it's just X, the letter X, and then the AE is like pronounced Ash.
And Musk added to the intrigue by sharing the birth certificate online. However, he and Grimes usually just call him X, but that wasn't the biggest issue. By 2023, things had taken a more dramatic turn between Grimes and Musk. Their relationship had broken down to the point where Grimes filed for sole custody of their child. This legal battle became a major topic during a high-profile interview Musk gave, where he spoke about the potential problems their child could face months due to all the public attention. This situation highlighted just how tense and complicated things had become in their family, showing a growing distance between Musk and his older children as their private struggles became more public. When she was 18, she decided to legally change her name and gender, cutting ties with her father's well-known last name, according to court records. Vivian expressed that she wanted nothing to do with her father anymore. Only a few details came out from the court filing, but it led to rumors that her father might have cut her off because of her decision. Whether these rumors are true is still unclear. He also recalled signing papers for Vivian to start puberty blockers during the pandemic, a decision he said he made without fully understanding the situation. He claimed he was pushed to agree quickly by his ex-wife, who said Vivian was deeply upset at the time. Peterson repeated his opinion that giving puberty blockers to minors is harmful and can't be undone. Musk agreed, saying that these kinds of decisions could symbolically erase a child's identity. Both he and Peterson spoke against giving puberty blockers to children, raising legal and ethical concerns about letting minors make irreversible choices about their bodies. Throughout the interview, Musk expressed that he still loved his child and wished Vivian was still a part of his life as Xavier. He blamed their estrangement on what he called harmful beliefs, saying these ideas had turned Xavier into Vivian. He promised to fight against what he saw as a damaging influence on culture, but that wasn't the worst part. The interview quickly grabbed a lot of media attention, reaching Vivian Wilson, who found out that her father had dedicated much of the interview to talking about her transition and name change. This public discussion of her private life pushed her to restate her decision to distance herself from her father, a decision she had first made clear in 2022 when she dropped his last name. Even though the Musk family generally tried to stay out of the public eye, the media kept following them closely. Vivian's siblings, especially those from Musk's relationships with public figures like Grimes and Siobhan Zillis, sometimes made news, too. Yet it was Vivian's move in 2022 to separate herself from her father that marked a major turning point, which she reinforced in 2024 after her father's controversial comments. After the backlash from his remarks, Musk took to social media to respond to the wave of criticism.
If there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety and not because of the gender dysphoria. And every goddamn clinician knows that too.
Standing firm on his views despite the controversy. But his response only seemed to stir up more debate and attention around the family. Family tensions grow as public and private lives clash. In 2022, Elon Musk took to social media to share his thoughts, insisting that he had no bad feelings toward transgender people. He explained that he was talking about his personal experience with his child, Vivian. Musk mentioned that Vivian, who was known as Xavier before, had faced some difficulties related to mild autism during childhood. He recalled moments like Xavier calling a jacket fabulous and thought these were signs of femininity. However, he strongly disagreed with the idea that these moments meant Xavier was a girl. Musk also criticized what he saw as a dangerous trend in the media that he believed was influencing young people. Vivian responded to her father's public statements by planning to challenge and disprove them. She jokingly mentioned that she found his claim about her being slightly autistic amusing and felt it was unfounded. Vivian also clarified that she doesn't use the social media platform her father owns. Instead, she prefers communicating on Threads, a different platform. This move shows the growing distance and tension between her and Musk. Vivian was prepared to address not just the autism comment, but also other things her father had said about her in conversations with well-known people like Jordan Peterson. She also wanted to criticize the idea of a woke mind virus that Musk claimed had influenced her, calling her father someone who just seeks attention. Vivian added that there were long periods when Musk did not contact her at all, which contradicts his image of being a caring father. She also denied the story about the jacket, saying it never actually happened. A well-known tech CEO's child, Vivian Jenna Wilson, made up stories to get attention. People were curious to know more, so she agreed to an interview with NBC News to share details about her relationship with her father. Musk, her father, has always claimed he loves his children, even saying so in a recent interview.
You're telling parents that unless they agree to this radical transformation that their children are going to die.
But Vivian Jenna Wilson felt his actions showed the opposite. She described him as strict, self-centered, and prone to sudden anger. She shared a story from her childhood about a road trip, which she later realized was just a promotional event for one of his cars. Throughout the trip, Musk constantly criticized her high-pitched voice, which she found incredibly harsh. Vivian Jenna Wilson believed that Musk made up stories about her to stay in the spotlight and attract media attention. She felt he twisted the facts about their relationship to suit his needs. But this wasn't even the worst part. Vivian Jenna Wilson claimed that Musk wasn't around enough to notice she was transgender. She said the stories he told about her childhood were untrue. When they did spend time together, she faced constant criticism for her femininity and queerness. Now, 20 years old, Vivian Jenna Wilson stressed that she should be recognized for her own choices. She revealed it had been 4 years since she last spoke with Musk, and she hadn't seen him since she was 16. Grimes, Musk's ex-girlfriend, also supported Vivian Jenna Wilson, saying she was very proud of her. Grimes publicly challenged Musk in 2020 when he ranted about what he called the woke mind virus and made negative comments about pronouns. She asked him to discuss these views with her directly. Grimes and Musk began dating in 2018 after bonding over their shared sense of humor on Twitter. They had 3 children together, 2 of them via surrogacy. But this wasn't the only trouble brewing. Their relationship began to fall apart around the time Musk posted some controversial tweets. By 2023, Grimes sought full legal custody of their children, showing how strained things had become. By 2024, it was clear they had little in common anymore, especially since Grimes stood for the progressive values that Musk often criticized. Differing views on identity sparked debates and challenges.
And so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
Grimes publicly showed support for Vivian after her father talked about her in an interview with Peterson. Before Grimes made her statement, Vivian had already shared her own thoughts in a video. In the video, she criticized the idea that adults could somehow convince children who are still learning about themselves that they were born in the wrong body. She disagreed with her father's claims that she was both gay and feminine, but not a girl. In an interview with NBC, Vivian joked that her father's views on gender stereotypes were old-fashioned and too simple. Vivian highlighted that her father's belief that her childhood love for musicals and theater meant she was gay was off the mark. She explained that she only got interested in musicals much later, around the 9th grade, especially after Hamilton came out. By that time, her relationship with her father had already become strained, so he had no idea her interests had changed. While all of this was happening in public, Grimes came out in support of Vivian, saying how proud she was of the woman Vivian had become. When someone criticized Vivian's gender identity as unnatural, Grimes stood up for her by highlighting Vivian's creativity, saying it showed who she truly was. Meanwhile, Elon Musk had made several comments, suggesting that society had confused Vivian about her gender identity. He remembered Vivian's love for musicals and theater from a young age and thought it indicated her sexuality. But Vivian pushed back against this, explaining that her interests had changed over time and that what her father remembered didn't really reflect who she is now.
Yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
Right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
As these conversations continued, many people, including family members and the public, weighed in on Vivian's identity. The discussions showed just how complex and deeply personal it can be to understand who you are, especially when everyone is watching. But this wasn't the end of it. More voices would soon join the conversation, adding new layers to the story. In 2022, Musk bought X for $44 billion. By 2024, he had become the most prominent voice on the platform. Musk uses his presence on X to share his political views, which have recently gained attention from conservative groups. However, he insists he is not taking sides politically. His actions and words have sparked debates about balancing freedom of speech with how people interact on social media. While on the Joe Rogan Experience, Musk explained that he bought X to bring back free speech and to prevent what he sees as harm caused by current social trends. He went as far as to compare these trends to a death cult, saying they promote ideas that could be dangerous for human society. Musk has usually called himself a centrist and has supported Democratic candidates in the past. But around July 2024, just after a new Republican candidate appeared, he hinted that his political views might be changing. This shift shows how much he cares about social issues and his desire to make a difference through his businesses and influence. But that's not the whole story. Musk's move to take over X wasn't just about free speech. There were other concerns, like the growing influence of tech companies on politics and public opinion. What do you think about Musk's shifting political views? Is he influencing or being influenced? Like, comment, and subscribe for more.